So
don't ask me about pace cars.
I learned a long time ago not to ask you about pace cars.
here we go with 28 laps to go.
Oh, it's accordion, it's accordion. What's going on? I have never seen. You know what? That falls on willpower. That is a ridiculous speed to bring the field down for the start. Yeah, that is crazy. Sorry, Alan.
Totally uncalled for.
Just identify the accident cars. Hawksworth and Andretti were the two in contact that are stopped on the front stretch, and we're back under caution again.
That's stuff that happens at go-kart level. And especially bad for both those guys who are putting in a lot of miles, trying to have a good day, especially for Hawksworth. I mean, what a great job he has done today. And there's Marco Andretti, owner of Andretti Autosport, Marco's father.
We need to see that again, because I have no idea why willpower slowed down so much.
So there's an acceleration zone that is set by officials. And the leader is supposed to begin to accelerate to restart the race within that zone.
Alan, once you start accelerating, you continue accelerating. You don't back off. I have to see it again, but you never back off and go again.
Yeah, that's like I said a second ago. That's something that happens in karting when the guys don't have much experience. And, you know, willpower is a friend, love him, but you just can't do that. This is the highest level of racing. See, now the pace car is going to go in. He's slowed down for the pace car. And so as soon as he starts to accelerate, he's got to start moving the car. He's got to start going. And this is a single file restart. Everybody's expecting him to accelerate. He's slowing down by the time he gets up to the first cone zone.
But now let me just play a slight devil's advocate here with you. He hadn't reached that first acceleration zone line yet when things started bottling up behind him. See that same high view again, stopping so I can tell the story.
Now the pace car is going in there a little late, probably could be further away. But at this point in time, this is exactly, if we watched it, it looks like he's starting to slow down just a little bit. You need to continue to increase the speed.
All right, so just by way of understanding, the first mark for the restart zone is way back by where that inside wall comes to play. So he's not to it yet.
No, but watch.
Not
it looks
to
like
it yet.
He's still going.
Not to it yet. Here. That's that's the beginning.
But Alan,
of the
he looks like he's in first gear.
He's slowing down. Certainly looks like he's starting to go slower. Could be wrong on that, but what the league IndyCar will do is go ahead and take all the data from that information.
Well, why would you? I mean, all acceleration means is whatever speed you have at that point, you accelerate from there. I don't believe they're asking him to accelerate from 10 miles an hour. And the drivers behind, I know that looked like they all made a mistake. It's a start. Let's go. So there was nowhere for them to go. And Hawksworth started. He was the first one to clip somebody, but he actually had nowhere to go.
Vince.
With Michael Andretti. Michael, what was your thought on that restart?
Yeah, I mean, Will caused the crash. I mean, he stood on it, and then he got the accordion effect going, and then the guys in the back had nowhere to go. So, I mean, I think they should do something to Will on that, because that was just, it was wrong for what he did. And they're not allowed to do that.
Saw Marco get out a little bit gingerly with that right arm. Any report from the team in regards to his injury?
I actually didn't see. I don't know. No report.
How about your 28 and to the finish here? How good is Ryan Hunter-Reay right now? I
think we're capable of winning. You know, I think we had Helio there, but they made us go back. But because they said the yellow came out. But we fought it, but we lost.
Thanks, Michael. Let's go to Rick DeBrule.
Yeah, with Marco Andretti as he's walking up pit lane. Marco, the first thing we have to ask is how are you feeling? Looks like your hand hurt.
Yeah, my hand hurt. I just didn't get, it happened pretty quick. I didn't get my hand off the wheel. I'm not sure what happened. It looked like an accordion effect. I had a good restart going, but we were junk all day, so what are you going to do?
You also got a limp as well. You got really banged up in that one.
It was just a bad angle. I didn't hit that fast, but it was just a bad angle. It stopped pretty quick.
Well, not the way you want to end it, but not a great weekend for Marco. But obviously, the question now is whether he has any actual injuries or if it's just banged up.
All right, Rick, thanks. So certainly a moment of conversation on the first restart of the race, and a single file restart for the first time after they used double file restarts last year. IndyCar going to the single file restarts for the road and street courses, and Will Power being the point of conversation after the race leader and an accident behind him. Jamie?
Well, I'm with his strategist, Tim Cindric. Tim, I know you had a little conversation with your driver after that. What did you see?
Well, he was complaining that the green went before the cone zone, if they threw the green before that, so he's expecting it a little later. So obviously that kind of stacked up everybody. He didn't brake check Helio or anything like that. He said, I was just bringing them down slow, and they threw the green earlier than they said they were going to throw the green in between the two cones. So it caught him off guard a bit.
Thank you for your time, and Eddie, perhaps that's exactly what you were talking about, just easing them into the green.
Yes, they have a very complicated rule book in Indy cars, and I think on Monday there'll be something added to how they do these single file restarts.
And there's a couple of things going on here very quickly. When we look at this pace car, he needs to be off the course before the cars come to the last turn.
So we talked with Marco Andretti earlier. The other driver taken out of the race by that restart incident is Jack Hawksworth. He's with Rick.
Standing by with Jack, not the rookie debut that you were hoping for. You had a great run really going up until that point, but what did it look like to you? I mean, you kind of were in the middle of all that.
Yeah, I don't know what the leader was doing or what was happening at the front, but they all just, I mean, they went. I heard green, everybody went, and then suddenly, you know, the leaders all stopped, and there was a huge concertina. I hit somebody, somebody hit me. It was just, I don't know what was going on at the front.
First race for a rookie is all about learning something. So what did Jack Hawksworth learn today about racing in IndyCar?
I mean, it was good to do the long races and the longer stints and stuff like that. Beginning of the race was a bit difficult. We didn't quite have the speed on the first run on the used reds, but I mean, bloody hell, in the second, once we put the new reds on, the thing was absolutely lightning, and we made up all that ground back. The car was really good. The BHA, Castrol, and Bowers and Wilkins, you know, I need to get practicing on that, but you know, all the guys, Legal Shield, the car was absolutely spot on, really. I mean, we were going quicker than anybody else in the middle of the race, and we caught Briscoe up and stood behind him. And perhaps if the yellow hadn't come out, I'm sure we would have, you know, we were already inside the top 10. Just a couple of guys at the pit still.
Well, we definitely saw potential out of Jack Hawksworth today, even if the day did end a little earlier than he anticipated.
My goodness, he reminds me of Nigel Mansell. I thought I was listening to Nigel there for a minute.
Executed well.
All right, there's a little bit of controversy on the first restart of the day. Take us through, in your mind, what exactly happened.
Well, they threw the green early. I thought we were meant to go in that zone. So I was surprised. So I don't know what happened. I don't even know what happened behind me. What happened?
They got together. Marco Andretti was out of the race. Jack Hawksworth was out of the race. And some maybe thought that you brake checked, but that wasn't the case.
No, I lifted a little. I didn't touch the brake at all. Definitely, they can look at my data. I did not touch the brake.
Let's talk about the way you went.
So we're pretty happy with the result.
There will be a lot of conversation about the restart, maybe at the water cooler, on the message boards and so forth, where it all stacked up there. You were, I think, third in line at the time. What was your perspective of that?
Up front, everything was fine. You know, I got a good run on Helio and got by him, and then I had to get that spot back again, saying that they told me it was before the yellow. So we got back by him, so I was okay with it. But I guess there was an accordion in the back that I'm not aware of. But there's always accordions in restarts in racing. I mean, it just kind of happens that way. So we just need to control it as best we can. But I think, you know, it was a good turnout today. Great turnout at St. Pete. You know, first race for Verizon, the IndyCar series, and a lot of momentum going on in this sport right now.
Used tires, red tires, was a little bit difficult, but it was a little strain on the restart. I got to review that.
I was going to say, what did it look like from your perspective? All right, it's a teammate.
I got to be polite. Mr. Power, how do they say? Oh, wanker? Is that what he say? I mean, it was being very tricky, for sure. It was being very tricky, and I didn't understand. It was too slow on the first one, and then on the second one, obviously he played a little bit, but I got hang on to dry, and Hunter-Reay took advantage of it, and obviously they had a little better tires as well. So as I kept pushing, the tires was going away. But Firestone was awesome, man. I tell you, all the way, great start of the season. I love it. This place is awesome.